everybody, and once again welcome. And today we are going to continue with video number 3. In this video number 3 on sequences and series, I am going to do some numericals from exercise 1b. You can see on the screen exercise 1b. As I told you, this is from a book from publications, Ibdp, or the AASL level. Okay, so let us get started with the very first question of exercise 1. Question says that find the first 5 terms for each of the following recursive sequences. So in question number 1, A, B, C, D, these are 4 recursive sequences that is given. I previous video, made you tell you what is recursive sequences detail. Okay. So let us get started with the A part of this. Question 1A says that un is equal to minus 4 times un minus 1 and u1 is equal to 1. This is the information given and the general term of the recursive sequence. From this general term, you have to find out the first 5 terms. Okay, first 5 terms, find out. So I have worked out over here for you. It's question number 1A. un is equal to minus 4 times un minus 1, given that u1 is 1. So first term is 1. Now suppose if you want to find out u2, in this general term, un minus 1 is always the previous term and un is the successive. Previous means the term on the left and successive means the term on the right. So out of u2 and u3, the previous will be u2, the successive will be u3. Out of u3 and u4, the previous will be u3, the successive will be 4. As previous and successive. In general, the previous is written as un minus 1, successive is written as n. Okay, so un is nothing but successive term and un minus 1. Right? So it is given here un is equal to minus 4 times un minus 1. So if you want to find out u2, the second term, u2, then it will be minus 4 times u1, because when u2 is un minus 1 has to be u1. u2 is equal to minus 4 times u1 and u1 is given to you as 1. 4 times 1 is minus 4. Minus 4 times u. So minus 4 times 1 will be minus 4. So the second term of this particular first term is given to you, it is 1. Now u3, the third term, if you want to find out third term, it will be minus 4 times the second term. So it will be minus 4 times minus 4. Works out to u4 will be minus 4 times the third term, u3. Minus 4 times 16 is 16. And the fifth term will be minus 4 times the fourth term. It will be minus 4 times minus 16 equal to 250. So the 5 terms for the first, that is the A1, are 1, minus 4, 16, minus 64 and 250. Is that okay? Let us go for the B. The B says that un is equal to minus 2 upon un minus 1 and u1 is 3. First term is 3. So given that B is, the B general term is un is equal to minus 2 upon un minus 1. As I told you, un minus 1 is but the previous one, successive. Okay. So if you take u2 as your successive term, okay, then your previous term will become u1. So this is u2 is equal to minus 2 upon u1. And when you substitute the value of u1 equal to 3 in this, you will get minus 2 upon 3. So you get u2 is equal to minus 2 upon. u3 will be equal to minus 2 upon u2. Minus 2 divided by u2 is nothing but minus 2 upon 3. So minus 2 into 3 upon minus. That is it. U4, the fourth term, will be minus 2 upon the third term. Minus 2 upon the third term is minus 2. And the fifth term will be minus 2 upon the fourth term, U4. Minus 2 into 3 upon minus in 3. And the 5 terms will be 3 minus 2 upon 3, 3 minus 2 upon. This sequence will be alternating this way. Minus 2 upon, first it will start with 3, again 3, again. These are the 5 terms. 1, 2. Is that clear? Now let us go and work out C. The C says that the general term is un is equal to 2 times un minus 1 the whole square. The first term u1 is equal to minus 1. So let us work out C. Here C. The un is given to you as 2 times un minus 1 square, and the first term u1 is minus 1. According to this, if you take un as u2, the u2 will be equal to 2 times un minus 1 will become u1. So 2 times u1 square is equal to 2 times minus 1. 1 is nothing but minus 1. 2 times minus 1. Minus 1 square is 1. 1 multiplied by 2 is. The first term is this. Second term is. Third term u3 will be equal to 2 times second term the whole square. 2 times 2. U4 will be 2 times the third term square times 8 square. And U5 will be 2 times U4 square. 2 times 128 square is 327. So the first 5 terms for C will be minus 1, 2, 8, 128, 3, 2, 7, 6. Answer. Now coming to D. The question D is un equal to 3 times un minus 1 plus 5. Okay, and the first term u1 is m. Here the u1 is equal to you the unknown m. Okay, so all your answers will be of m. So let us check this D. The un, the general term, given as 3 times un minus 1 plus 5. The first term u1 is m. Second term u2 will be equal to 3 times un minus 1. So un minus 1 will be u1 in this, because un is n minus 1. 3 times u1 plus 5. But u1 is nothing but m. So it will be 3m plus 5. Second term will be. Now the third term u3 will be equal to 3 times u2 plus 5. That will be 3 times u2 is nothing but 3m plus 5 times 3m plus 5 plus 5. That works out to 9m plus 20. Okay. Then the fourth term will be 3 times the third term plus 5. So 3 times 9m plus 20 plus 5. So that will be 27m plus, right? Okay. And the last term, that is the fifth term, will be what? Will be the first, second, third, and fourth. Fifth term will be 3 times u4. Fourth term. Term is 27m. 3 into 27m plus 5 plus the 5. That will work out to 81m plus 2. Question number 1, A, B, C, D, all 4 we have worked out. Let us go to question number 2. What question number 2 says is, for each of the recursive sequences below, find the recursive formula for the general term. You have to find out the formula for the recursive formula. Find out. And the sequences are given. Let's start with the A1. A is minus 2, minus 4, minus 8. A is, it goes on. Now let us check what is term to term relationship. So if you take the first term minus 2, and if you add minus 2 to it, minus 2, minus 2, minus 2, so you get the next term. Again to minus 4, if you add minus 2, get the next term. Again to minus 6, if you add minus 2. This is how it works. So can you say that un, that is the successive term, will be equal to previous term minus 2? Okay. Previous term. Successive term un will be equal to previous term un minus 1 minus 2. Okay. And u1, that is the first term, is minus 2. Okay. So the general term will be un equal to un minus 1. Like this. And you have to always mention the first term of the answer for A1. Right? For B, the sequence is 1, 4, 6, 1, 4. Now here you can see what is the relationship. 1 into 4 is 4. 4 into 4. So let us do this way. If you take this 1 and if you square it, multiplied by 4, what? Second term. Second term. Now if you want the third term, that is 6. 4 you keep as it is. Now you take the second term ka square. Second term is 4. You will get 4 square 50. 60. This is working, right? This in general you will write 4. This 1 square 2 1 4, and all these are un minus 1. 4 into un minus 1 and un. So we are taking un as u2. Your un minus 1 will be u1. Okay, un minus 1. In general, if you take u2, it will be 4 times 2 1 square. That's it. And if you take this u3, it will be 4 times, and it goes on. Okay? Going by this formula, general formula, we get all these terms. Okay, so the general formula is nothing but un is equal to 4 times un minus the first term. You have to always. Now let us see C. C is 52, 5.2, 0.52, 0.52. If you see carefully this C sequence, what is happening is the successive term and the previous term, how they are related. Successive term, you get it by dividing the previous term by 10. Okay, 5.2 10. 0.52 5.2 upon 10. So you get successive term 10 minus 1. 10 minus 1 the previous term. So previous term, how you get successive term, how you get successive when you get it by dividing the previous term by 10. This is your general term. Un is equal to 10 minus. Can you see un is equal to 10? Always mention the. That was C. D is 14, 19, 20, 29. Here you can see the relationship that the successive term 19 you get by adding 5 to the previous term. Successive term is equal to 5 plus previous term. Successive term will be un, previous term will be un minus 1. This happens to be the general term for the D1. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. And first term u1. Next, E is 2, 3, 6, 18, 108 and 194. Now here what is happening is, if you see carefully, the first term and the second term, when you multiply them, you get the third. The second and the third term, when you multiply them, you get the, when you multiply fourth term and the fifth. Okay. So in general, un will be equal to un minus 1 multiplied by un minus. This is the general term for this e. Okay, I have written here un minus 1 un minus by u1. Okay, the last one f is 1, 2, 6, and 24. 1, 2. Now here, what kind of relationship terms is, suppose I take u2. Okay, so what, how I am getting this 2? Let me see. I will take previous term as u1. 1. 1 is 1. Okay. So 2 times u1 times u1 me u2. Now let me check u3. This is how much? This should be previous term for u3 will be u2 times coming here. Here we have taken first 2 to 1. Okay, this is u3. u2 multiplied by u3. So how much is u2? u2 is 2 multiplied by 3. So the general term will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you can write n. N equal to. And the previous term will be un minus 1. These are the previous term. N and u2. And the successive terms will be un. T4 can be written. S is equal to P times N. Successive term will be equal to the previous term multiplied by N. So according to this, if you want to find out U2, U2 will be what? U2 will be equal to U1, U1. 1 is 1 times N. So N is what? 2. 2 into 1 is 2. So U2. U3 will be what? U3 will be equal to U2, previous term, multiplied by a 3. What was the previous term? 2. Multiplied 3. And U4 equal to 3 multiplied by 4. You get U3 as 6, 6 as 20. You see, you are getting this 1 to 24. Was 1. So the general term will be un equal to un minus 1 divided by n. Okay? And don't forget to mention the first term. First term, the answer has to be un minus 1 times n, where 1 is. I think I have solved all the questions from exercise 1.1b, and these all were questions are related to sequences. I suppose the recursive sequence is now thoroughly understood by all of concepts I have discussed, and in this video number I have called some numericals related. I hope now can proceed with some of the topic. So all for today. Take care all of you. Goodbye.